or not should, it's how they will be working. And we find ourselves in the middle of a draft for game one. So I'm really excited. Just with the history of some of these players like PYW and Fly Fly, they both used to play for Team Serenity back when Fly Fly was known as GGG. Um, it's a bunch of players that have really, like, they all kind of have their own story. I know that's something stupid to say because I think every player in Dota has their own story, but these are guys who have been towards the front of Dota for a while, I would say.
Yeah,
Like
100.
towards the front of the people's eyes. If you watch any Chinese Dota or even maybe the online event or LAN events when they're happening, these are the guys that you've been seeing a lot of the last like year or two.
Yeah,
If that
I
makes
think
sense.
the series that we watched of IG the other day, this was the one, remember, where Emo had a really crazy game on TA that Emo did really well most of the game, then died twice, and kind of, if we felt like they were going to throw the game, and then all of a sudden JT completely rescued it. So I think if IG want to win, I feel like JT is probably their key person, like for their team. I mean, he's so much of their playmaking potential, and he's been pretty solid in the last, I'd say, year or so, probably longer maybe. I
Yeah,
feel like,
JT has played really well.
yeah,
He's been probably like when it was Team Serenity, when Fly was there, or when he was on King Gaming, he was the most exciting. But since coming to IG, I would say JT's been the most exciting. Like, I agree with that. Like, he is always the guy. He's similar to a Faith Beyond kind of situation
yes, yeah.
in a way.
So remember
So
that 4-man vac into Nyx Assassin stun? That was pretty sick.
that was a beauty. That was yeah, I don't know if you guys just saw my face. You said it, and then I remembered it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because that was a moment. That was like, we just lost Emo. Did we just throw this game? No, JT's got us. And Kaka too. Kaka had an amazing Knicks game that game too.
He played
That was
really well.
a really good game from IG, and that's why I'm excited about this series because I think that this is two teams that are certainly very close in rank. And I know that Knoxville released rankings recently, and he actually has it Vici 4, IG6. RNG is 5 in between the two.
Ooh.
But out of the top 6 teams, 4 of them are Chinese teams. He has it Secret, LGD, Fnatic, Vici, RNG, IG, which is just like, you could see how many strong teams there are just in the top 6 alone. It's such a strong region, and these two teams are always a fun duo to watch play each other.
I also think at the same time, though, I really want to put OG's main roster up there. I mean, they were bonkers in the qualifying for the old LA Major before everything got cancelled. So
Yeah.
I'm personally really, I'm really looking forward to seeing the OG roster and the Secret roster compete up against these Chinese teams again to, establish top dominance almost. That's going to be the big things to look forward to. Grimstroke.
So we get on into this draft. We see Grimstroke picked up for IG with the bands of the Kato. And you were happy to see Kato get prioritized a lot more. And now he's finding his way into the first phase bands. And Rubik Centaur, a pretty standard start for Vici coming out. A duo we see quite often, especially here in the Chinese region.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like it's in every region now. This opening, they've all learned off each other how good it is, how strong it can be. It's always going to be a solid lane between the two of them. And are we going to see the Ember being picked up pretty much straight away, I would assume, with this Grimstroke? We saw it from, who was it yesterday? Nothing to Say, and was it Victoria? I can't remember. But, the Mars. Okay. Not something I assumed they would be picking up quite so early, but, we talked about JT with the playmaking potential that he has. Especially against the center, I feel like the arena, it basically just blocks the Stampede, right? I feel like the butt spear removal has hurt Mars a lot, though. Cannot believe that got taken away. Absolutely devastated.
Mars is something we used to see a lot with Phoenix that was very popular. But Phoenix has kind of taken a back seat recently, and it's been kind of Mars also. I would say not finding as much presence in the Chinese region. He does get banned a lot though. It's almost similar to the Timbersaw. It feels like he's getting banned a lot, but he doesn't get picked a lot when he makes it through.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But it has been first phase banned a lot, so I don't know. I think it's only been let through like once, maybe twice, right, in all the games that we've cast. Which is fair enough. So Mars. What would you pick as your 5 for Vici? Which I assume is what they're going to have to do next, unless they feel like they want to take the Ember away from IG.
Would Lich be okay in this spot?
It's okay. I think it's just what's their flavour of the month. Like Witch Doctor might be okay as well. Like Jakiro, I've seen not necessarily in China, but in other regions. They could even go for something like a Dying if they really wanted to. Just try and bully the Mars completely, but I'm interested to see, because this is the thing when you pick Rubik Centaur at the start of your draft, especially when you have last pick overall, like you know what your offlane is going to be straight off the bat, right? So you don't have to pick either of your cores until 4th pick overall, which feels really nice. Like you just pick a nice solid laning combo.
Also, I was looking into the head-to-head matchups, and this is, as I looked at it, it was something that I remembered I had said when I had cast this duo playing against each other back in middle of April. But Vici, before the previous series that these two teams had played each other in, had won like 10 series in a row against IG. It was like going all the way back to November 2018. March 2018 was the last time IG had beat Vici so long ago. Or maybe, no, March 2020? I don't know. I don't remember. I think I read this right.
I remember seeing it every single tournament though as well, being like, "Wow, this is actually still going on. Like IG still can't beat them." They do go for that Lich though. You know, nice shout.
I nailed it. I feel like I nailed it.
You finally were a believer in your own ability to call a pick, so you said it before they picked it this time. I'm a big fan.
I got to do that more often and try and get myself into the picks a little bit more. I get that lack of confidence, especially because you've been nailing them recently. So I try not to get in your way.
That's so easy though. At the moment, we were talking about how there's such a small hero pool, right? Like especially at the first phases of drafts, it feels like it's the same heroes every single first phase. This Mars is nice because it's a little bit different. But I assume IG they're either going to pick another melee core here to work with the... So, I mean, they could pick something like Ursa if they wanted to, something we saw a little bit yesterday. I still think Embers are okay. Or they could just go for their other support, which is a little bit more difficult to call.
And you go to the Disruptor for maybe even Kaka on the Disruptor. Who do you want more farm on? Would it be the Disruptor looking for that Axe?
I would assume they would put the Disruptor as the 4, but I'm not actually 100% sure. I think we'll have to wait to see the rest of their draft first, I think, before we can make that decision. But I would assume it would be Disruptor 4. I feel, like you say, I feel like that hero scales a little bit better with farm, with what it can do in the mid to late game. I cannot believe Ember's been completely ignored by both teams. I find that incredible. With the hero that's been so popular so far in the tournament, maybe it's just something that they feel they are unsure about. Oh, I hope this is more convincing than the Sylar Ricky we saw yesterday.
Yeah, Sylar was making some questionable moves, that's for sure. Very odd some of the moves he was making, but I would say of him and Eurus right now, I would have more faith in Eurus. It's definitely interesting when Sylar goes in and it's just like, or at least just in that game. I don't want to rip Sylar apart all of a sudden, but that game was a lot of questionable decisions coming through and making themselves felt That's for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the only thing I would say about the Riki is we've seen so far this tournament. If he ever gets soul binded up by the Grimstroke, his game can be really difficult because he doesn't get any of his like blink strike ability during that time that he's linked up. So we've talked about how it goes both ways against the Grimstroke. You know, you can blow him up really quickly, and it is a good core against Mars as well. You know, you have the Lich Frost Shield to be able to put on you in the laning stage as well, which is really nice. But
And there's that fly Monkey King, most likely. It could be emo. I mean, this is a very, when GGG was GGG, now he's Fly. Very GGG hero.
yeah, we saw this core matchup though. Was it yesterday? Pretty sure I can't remember what game it was where the Monkey King absolutely demolished the Centaur in the laning stage. So I think that's what they've picked it for in that matchup. But it does still have that flex value, like you say, to the mid lane if they really wanted to. But I imagine Vici with the last pick overall will cover their bases to make sure they pick something that does okay against the Monkey King at least, if it comes down to that.
It was a safe lane Monkey King for LGD went 6-2 and 8. The Centaur that was against it went 1-8 and 5.
I can't believe the Ember made it all the way to last ban. God. Yeah. The other thing is, my high-level analysis here, are you ready? IG playing the Circle strat. They have Arena. They have Kinetic Field and Static Storm. They have Wukong's Command. How do you beat the Circle strat, B-Cop? It's impossible. And they have 3D circles with the Inkswell as well. What
is the next circle?
True. Who knows?
Well, you need a mid, right?
Yeah. But I also feel like they're lacking a little bit of burst damage, potentially.
OD? Technically throwing orbs? Arcane orbs?
It's okay. I think they might just go back for the TA again, to be honest. I think it's just their go-to.
I say they go Venomancer.
Stop with this Veno stuff, Ben. It's not going to happen. Okay?
I watched chat yesterday, and they were very upset about me. There he comes in a circle. That works, Void Spirit.
Yeah, he has Resonant Pulse, dude. That's a circle.
Yeah, that's a circle. That works. It's the circle strat.
How do you beat the circle strat? And it's 2D circles and 3D circles. They're playing on so many different levels and in different dimensions.
I mean, Void Spirit certainly plays in a different dimension, that's for sure.
Do you know, I got inspired by XinQ yesterday. Last night I played Position 4 Void Spirit Pub, and it was hilarious. It's so much fun. I played a Clink's Position 4 Pub as well, and that was amazing. Oh, my Position 4 hero pool has just been blown through the roof by one man.
You gotta tell him. You've been inspiring me. Thank you.
Oh, they actually go for the TA on Vici. Okay. I feel like IG's lineup is so like, we're going to run at you and go. If this TA can have a really good time mid lane, which Ori definitely can up against the Void Spirit, then they might be able to match the tempo. But I'm a little bit worried about this Riki, especially like we saw yesterday. I think it's really difficult for him to ever jump any of these heroes. I think, yeah. First Roche as well is going to be super important for TA if they want to try and win this game on Vici.
Well, how quick do IG take Roche?
Not really, not very well. They don't have a huge amount of damage
still. On Vici to go for it?
Yeah, but so like IG will have to win a fight, right, to be able to take Roche, whereas Vici can just kind of, they always have the threat with the TA. You know, that hero can just solo Roche at points in the game, you know, when you get Deso. So yeah, I'm a big believer in this Grimstroke hero at the moment as well, with the way that these teams have been playing. I feel like the Inkswell just enable, like they have Mars, Monkey King, Void Spirit. Like they have 3 melee cores that are all going to use that Inkswell, and I think they're just going to run at them. But I mean, I called Vici the favourites before we going into the series, so I do think it's close still.
We'll have to see who can take game one, or is it IG or Vici coming into this one? Like you said, Vici needed 1 game?
Oh no, that was before I realised what the actual head-to-head rules were and things. So I think if you want to be safe, Vici should, be trying to take the series. I haven't worked out what the standings would be if it was like 2-1 and stuff. But the good thing for them is I think they have to finish at least. Do they have to finish at least third? They beat CDEC, right? So yeah, if they beat CDEC, then they can't come bottom in the group, so they will definitely go through, one way or another.
So let's see how this goes.
That's a really deep ward by PYW on the Rubik. It's really good at being able to spot couriers coming nice and early, though.
Yeah, we've been talking about the courier slaughters that have been happening. It's been pretty disgusting. We've been averaging, what, like 6 or 7 couriers a game?
Yeah, it's been a lot. But I also feel like people just aren't respecting the courier killing potential still. You know, couriers are so slow at level 1. But when you play a game for such a long time where you're so used to your courier just not dying, ever, it can be difficult to adjust.
This is okay. I'm trying to figure out where this Monkey King is looking to go. He's staying towards mid, but he is in that courier form, so he's moving pretty quickly. It looks like he was going bottom for a second. Now he's going back towards top. I was gonna say, is he really not gonna lane against the Centaur? I feel like that wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah, that's the matchup they want, the Monkey King versus Centaur, I would assume.
Yeah.
I mean, the Monkey King's still decent against the Riki as well, but he did scout those 2 supports there as well at the same time, though. So he knows that there's 3 heroes up here at the moment.
And then bottom finally coming in is DY. You've got JT here with Kaka, and one of the things that I really like about this combination of the Disruptor as well as the Mars is even just a glimpse or a kinetic field can sometimes, I feel like, really set up a spear. Someone like Lich could just get caught out, kinetic field hits, you get speared to one of these trees down here, and you're probably dead this early on.
Oh, yeah.
I think level 2 for this IG lane is pretty strong.
Or he's destroying mid, by the way. He has hit so many Sideblade got hits on the emo, on the Void Spirit. And because the Sideblades are pure damage as well, if you use the Resonant Pulse, it doesn't block the damage, which feels really bad as the Void Spirit.
Another deny there for Ori. And this is a mid matchup against 2 very strong mids. I think Emo's really shown up as one of the better mids here in China. Of course, you know, you're in a league of greats with Somnus as well as Ori in the Chinese region. 2 guys who really know what's going down. You know, even Yi, who's teamless right now, is a very good mid too, and Emo certainly up there.
Yeah, I was going to say as well that, you know, when you have all the best like so many good mids in one league as well, like it must be much easier to get better than before. Like when you're constantly practicing against them all the time.
You know, a lot of people, it's one of the things that gets said, and I know this is such a weird comparison, but it's one of the things that gets said in the mixed martial arts world. Not that I'm a part of it or anything, but
sure?
You know, usually I'm very sure. I'm a big bowling guy. Less contact, the better. So, you know, one of the things that the commentators will talk about is like a loss that they had recently, saying it's one of the biggest learning experiences you can have is a loss. And I feel like, you know, when you go up against somebody like Ori and you lose that matchup, it's a learning experience, win, lose, or draw for a lot of these guys, especially with how young some of these newer mids are. It's certainly very, you know, Emo's only 19 years old. So it's certainly, it feels like every time he plays against somebody who's a top dog, it's a learning experience for him.
Well, he's getting absolutely spanked at the moment, so we'll see how much he can recover his game. Because the thing is, he has less CS, but he's also having to bring out more regen as well. And it only gets worse when you play against TA, because like she starts to get the Blightstone online as well. But it feels like Ori's hitting every single Sideblade hit at the moment. I don't know if you were watching this, but it's crazy.
There was a point in the CDA tournament, too, where a guy was playing, I believe, OD over mid. It might have even been the new team, Ocean, that's been in the mix here. but he brought in like 15 mangoes and 5 salves over mid, and he had just as much CS as his opponent, but he had 2,000 less net worth.
Nature, but
You just get spanked that hard, where you're just like, you bring in that much regen and you put yourself in that much trouble.
Yeah, he's probably going to have to go all the way back to base here as well. I mean, has he got a salve coming out? I think that might be a wind lace for the disruptor actually, but yeah, like I don't know what he's supposed to do in this lane anymore. There was a battle for the 4-minute bounty rune. Sorry, not bounty rune, active rune. And the Rubik and Grimstroke were fighting for it, so the Grimstroke managed to take the Invis rune, and he's actually top at the moment. They might try and make something happen here, but I don't know how much they can do. He has level 2 Inkswell.
unorthodox but effective.
Monkey King is 25-2. But Centaur 20-1. I'm surprised that Yang has done so much in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, the Rubik Centaur, though, is such a good lane, right? It doesn't really matter. The Monkey King, the thing is, it's really difficult for him to ever get the Inkswell damage off onto the cores because they have Stomp and they have Lift as well, right? The Monkey King doesn't have a point in Tree Dance yet either.
He's going to go down to Emo for first blood. He gets pulled in by the Aether Remnant. And just gets caught going for this bounty rune and giving up first blood to Emo, who had definitely struggled in his lane. Or, not definitely. Yep. He has very much struggled in that lane. He's still, even with that first blood, sitting a level behind this TA. So returning to lane might even just be a bit difficult for him.
But he did get the bounty rune, so it's worth. Don't you worry.
Got the kill and the bounty. Interesting spot for a sentry as Fly eats the dust down over towards top, or up over in top would be the better way to say that, as PYW, DY, and Yang combined for that, and DY, after dying, he had TP'd over towards the top lane.
Yeah, good rotation by DY. You kind of don't expect that though. The Lich dies and you're like, well, he's probably going to go bot again. But yeah, good rotation. And the Riki doesn't need too much help in the laning stage at the moment. He's about to hit that level 6 as well. He has 17 1 charges, so he's not really under threat of dying. And the lane's going to be pushing out anyway, so... Kill that Monkey King, slow his game down. So really good start for Vici at the moment.
Inkswell, Ollie running at this Rubik, and the Inkswell will stun up the Rubik as Fly's trying to get a kill, but the telekinesis, he's almost wanted to slam him down onto the Grimstroke, but PYW ends up dead. DY might be next. Fly stunned up, but he's got Tree Dance in just a moment.
Oh, he cut the wrong tree.
Goes down, and DY still in a lot of trouble. Fly certainly looking to get something done. Emo's got the Astral Step, so jumps forward twice, and with the Aether Remnant, pulls back Yang, and he ends up dead in this top lane.
I like that Fly gets the right angle so he can balance strike the whole way for the lifesteal as well. That was nice. And this bot lane now as well, Ricky's hit level 6, so he's able to bully the Mars a lot harder. He might go for this here.
GT taking a lot of damage. Look at this. Tricks of the trade. One more shot with the spear.
Shade. Goddamn T.
Wow. Didn't even panic. Like, that is such a lack of panic there. I feel like there's some guys who might just try to run out of the tricks of the trade and go behind the tower, but he knew what he was doing. He stopped moving, set himself up for the spear, and locked up the Riki. Wow.
I like that Emo struggles so much mid. He's just running around now and getting kills instead. I mean, definitely the way you want to be playing the Void Spirit. It's 8-minute rune here.
Telekinesis Inkswell. With the Astral Step, they've stunned up the TA. Ori taking a lot of damage, but now looks over at Emo, who will Astral Step once again. DY, PYW trying to move forward. He doesn't have a Sinister Gaze or anything, but the Glimpse pushes back DY. Emo taking a lot of damage, and Stroke of Fate comes in. They get the kill into Ollie, and then with the Fate Bolt, they'll take out Emo. So 2 kills there for Vici.
And they might get more here. They have lift in a few seconds, 6 seconds or so. JT TP's in.
A mysterious force.
The defender.
Always the defender.
Never the midfielder.
Does he have just a casual Ring of Health? He does. Interesting. I assume he's going to be building Crimson this game. up against the Ricky TA Centaur combo. It could be Pipe as well. It's not awful up against the Lich, so...
Yang DUI, Rubik comes back towards top, setting up, potentially to try and get a kill here. 13 stacks in the Retaliate at level 3. Meanwhile, Kaka taking back that outpost with 50 seconds to go.
I'm not sure how I feel about the 4 points in Boundless on Monkey King. It really hurts your farm potential. I'm not putting more points in Tree Dance. So I guess if they feel like they can utilize it and get stuck in and get involved in loads of fights early on, then the max Boundless is going to be worth it. Especially when you have this Inkswell on top of you as well. But I think they have to make the right rotations for that to work.
Yeah, that was something that Winter mentioned. Going heavy into the Jingu, not going into the Tree Dance Primal Spring is sometimes a bit troublesome with your farm.
Yeah, we usually see 2 points in Boundless, maybe 3, and then maxing out. In Jingu, I mean, and then maxing out the Boundless before you even finish the Jingu. So the fact that he's gone 4 points all in by level 7s,
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
pretty crazy.
So TA going into the Deso, probably a Blink Dagger afterwards. Gets the first Mithril Hammer and 50 gold, and then we'll work on the second one. Ori had a couple of stacks here in by the Ancients. This is something that we see TAs do time and time again, is where you get stacks throughout the jungle, you clean them up. Even if you have a bad lane, it's a way to come back. But when you're at the front, it's a way to pull ahead even more. So TA, one of the best heroes, or one of the best mid heroes to come in jungle and really take advantage of that.
Ori has missed an Ancient creep though in the camp, so that one's not going to spawn again. It's actually on 187 HP. I don't think he realised, which is very sad.
Another thing for Emo to learn. Maybe one of those things you learn not to do.
I feel like this happens in a lot of the series we've casted, where game 1 feels a lot slower than any of the other games that we see between the two teams, because they kind of feel.
Especially game 1 in the day overall. It feels like the slowest game of the series.
They kind of feel each other out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Mid lane.
Sinister Gaze on the Kaka. Astral Step forward. They've got the Kinetic Field. It slows the Static Storm down, but that doesn't go into PYW. It doesn't matter. Emo will get the kill. DUI. Now with help from Yang, they'll Stampede. They've got the stun. And there was a glimpse, I believe, onto the TA. It won't matter. They'll still lose Emo. And a good job from Yang to rotate over.
Yeah, DY's going to get the D ward as well, which is really nice.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Played by him. And that's the point. This is the fight. Everybody hits level 6 and they all just run mid. I told you. Every game. There's always one. Grimshake's still not quite there yet, but they have the Static Storm up still. Oh, sorry, they just used it mid, didn't they? But they have it up now and available, but they're still looking for more. They see Ori here farm the Ancient camp. He might be in a spot of bother.
Swell. Pops, and Wukong's coming in. Kinetic Field was down, but Ori just runs out of it. Now back into the Wukongs with the glimpse. They'll dust. He's on the run. Wukongs. The arena is there, and Ori will end up dead. So stolen Wukong's not going to be enough to save Ori. And actually,
Oh, he stole Astral Step on the Rubik. He's actually just styled him. PYW, man. You gotta respect.
Man.
You gotta respect the damage on the tier 2 towers now. I think it got increased by 25 in the most recent patch, and now Eurus is coming in as well.
He's just cleaning up. He gets the kill on Kaka. He looks over at Fly. This is. I'm sorry. I was still in shock with how much of an outplay that really was. PYW doing such a good job, even though he lost his life. But look at Fly. Balance Strike comes in. Eurus trying to get the kill here onto this Monkey King. Look for the Stroke of Fate. It does slow up both Yang and Eurus, so they'll retreat off going for this Monkey King. Wow. My jaw was on the ground.
Yeah, Emo on this Void Spirit's gotta be so careful, man. Like, diving these tier 2 towers is not fun anymore. It wasn't fun before, but even more so now. And Ori mid gonna take the tower.
Goes down again. And look at the damage on a Fly and Kaka, but the spear and at the edge of it does put him onto the tree. PYW trying to use a spear of his own to lock up somebody, but the Astral Step, PYW on the run, ends up dead to JT, and another 2 kills there for IG.
The Monkey King's gratitude is worth more than gold.
Yeah, they're rotating around the map really well on IG. It's just, no, the TA's still farming, getting almost online at that Deso now. But if you're the TA here, you'd kind of like to be a little bit further ahead than where you are. You know, these couple of deaths that the TA's had in the last few minutes or so has really set her back. And she would have liked to have been probably halfway to the blink by now if she could, really.
Still sitting top of the net worth, despite the 2 deaths recently.
Yeah, but, you know, at the same time, that hero farms so much quicker than all the other heroes on the map this game, right? So you kind of expect it to be more.
Ooh, they found Yang. They've got the glimpse as well as the kinetic field. Everybody here. Chain Frost doesn't even bounce.
Yeah, nice little delta split maneuver there by IG. That was nice.
They certainly looked like it was like just on the edge of the bounce range. Because that was, they were really close to each other and it just didn't bounce anywhere.
Oh, Ori's actually going to go BKB second item instead of the blink, which I think is a decent choice. I think he's worried a little bit that if he goes to blink first, it's going to delay his BKB timing by so much. Which, if you look at how this game's going, I don't think he can afford to do. Like, there's Static Storm he has to worry about. There's Ink Swell. There's the Void Spirit. There's, you know, there's all sorts going on this game.
So let's take a look over at Eurus, who's still going into the Diffusal Blade. He's got 700 gold. And he's just a couple hundred away from finishing it off. With the Diffusal Blade will definitely help him out. However, you take a look at where he is net worth-wise, and he is certainly behind the Monkey King, but he is a bit under-farmed here. I would say, you know, he has died once. He hasn't gotten a lot of farm, but I think they really do want to give the TA the farm priority where they can, so that's probably why he's taking a little bit of a back seat overall.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like Ricky doesn't farm massively fast at the start of the game, right? Because this is why he tends to build like second item Battle Fury and things, so he can help with scaling potential. Because you know, creeps, or especially when you're farming neutrals, you can't hit them from behind all the time, right? Like they always just face you, so it's difficult to get to that same level of speed. And the Vessel on the Void Spirit is going to really help this game as well. Especially up against this big bag tanky Centaur. Is anybody on the Radiant building a Vessel?
Ooh, Fly going into the Wukong's. Balance Strike comes in, and look at the damage out on a DY. Stampede. Oh, DY?
Oh, DY really wanted to turn there with the Sinister Gaze as well, but he couldn't go in.
He would have died. He went, like, on the edge of the circle, and, like, I think this cliff almost put the pathing where he would have stepped back in and just gotten slapped and killed. But Blink, Hoof Stomp, Static Storm nailed down. Yang, he made an aggressive play and he might pay for it with his life. Fly comes over with a Balanced Strike to do a lot of damage here onto the Centaur. They don't get the kill just yet. But there's the double edge. Eurus joins the fray. Tricks of the Trade comes in as well as the Telekinesis onto the Monkey King. There's the Chain Frost bouncing over to the creep. So unlucky for DY. They get the kill on a Fly. They will lose Eurus. Ori in the kinetic field and locked up. It's a 2-for-1. A Monkey King for a Ricky Centaur.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. I mean, that Lich Chain Frost was, you know, just went completely the wrong way. I feel like if it had gone into the middle of the fight, they'd have taken that so convincingly on the Radiant, but never mind. Hey-ho.
Does Chain Frost prioritize heroes at all?
No, I don't think so, right? I'm like 99% sure.
Okay, because I know the equivalent in League, I think, does. Because there is like a Chain Frost ability.
What did you just say, Ben?
I said the never mind.
Yeah, that's just you know, hush up, all right? We don't respect that here.
I mean, that's a lot of luck on the line. I feel like there should be some prioritization.
No, I think it would be too good then. Honestly, I don't know if you noticed in the last fight as well. He used Arena on Mars, and Rubik tried to steal it. But if you look at what he has at the moment, PYW is a very sad boy. Really good toggling by JT, just to make sure that Arena.
Else.
Yeah, exactly. Every single time he'll do that as well. It's a really good habit to get into if you're against Rubik players. Yeah, see, the admin's on my side. He says, League, what's that? Nice.
I don't know that much about that game that starts with an L, but
Radiant's middle
know.
tower is
I get
under
plenty of
attack.
L's in Dota. I don't need any more. It's fine.
Dire
Yeah,
are
seriously.
scanning.
and I mean
They-
for myself, not you.
Jesus, they're smoking again on IG. They really want to go all out here.
They might clash over
Dire
mid,
structures
depending on which
are
direction they go
fortified.
over. If they cross through the mid tier 1 and tier 2 towers, they could spot Vici coming in.
Ollie's done that skill build again where he only puts 2 points in Inkswell. And he goes for the 3 points in Phantom's Embrace by level 8.
They're going to go for the Wukong's command, but the Stampede already out of it. They've got themselves the Glimpse. He's still able to
Void
escape the static
Spirit.
storm as well as the kinetic field, but now you take a look at his PYW, who stole the Wukong's command. They've got the telekinesis onto the Mars. They've lifted him up. They get the kill into JT, and they'll take one for the hard troubles of IG coming into this.
That should help.
PYW's doing really well this game. Yeah, they tried to get the Glimpse Static Storm onto the Centaur, but he managed to escape just out of the grasp of the Disruptor. Who is going for a Yules, which is going to help him no end to try and set up for these Static Storms.
Got the Sinister Gaze, and they've locked up Emo. They'll get the kill. Chain Frost bounces over to Ollie, so this gives them an opportunity to get a second kill. They've got the Silence out, as PYW does have the Phantom's Embrace. A very good one to steal there for the Rubik to help get a kill here, and that's 3 for Vici without losing anything. All of a sudden, they're up 3,000 net worth.
Those 3 points in Phantom's Embrace are going to help that Rubik no end, because Void Spirit's this really maneuverable, difficult hero to kill, right? And if you can initiate with a lift and just throw the Phantom's Embrace on him, it's going to give them time on the Radiant side to catch up. And yeah, and Vici definitely in control of all these fights now. And if you look at the TA's net worth at this point now, this is exactly what I mean. Like, look how much quicker she farms than all the rest of the heroes on the map, when she's not, dying twice in a row like before. It's going to be really difficult to stop her. And yeah, I want to go back to this point. I really disagree with only 2 points in Inkswell this game again. Like, you have Void Spirit, Monkey King. These guys are enabled so much by that ability innately.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I know it feels good to have more points in Phantom's Embrace for the extra hit. So you get the more likely to silence them for a longer duration, but even so.
We're seeing a couple of Grimstrokes here and there, just focus Inkswell too.
Yeah, I mean, people have been going like 2-1-4 or like 1-1-4 in like nearly all the Grimstroke games we saw yesterday. Ollie was the only one that I've seen do the skill build before, and he's done the same thing again. I feel like it's a personal preference kind of thing.
Little blink, and they've got right on top of Ollie.
That was,
Give themselves a kill.
that was a very clean kill. Smoke broke and Yang just instantly blinked in. They had the ward on the high ground, so they saw exactly where he was. What can they get from this? Like, they smoke and kill the Grimstroke, but are they really going to be able to get damage on a tier 2? Yeah, it looks like they're just going to go and try and hit that tier 1 bot instead.
Yang will come
Dire's
over.
bottom tower is
He's
under
going into a
attack.
Lotus Orb, by the way.
Oh, Yang's
And
so
Eurus
tanky.
Eurus going to the BKB. So similar to how the
Dire's
TA
bottom
went
tower
Deso
has
BKB,
fallen.
but hold on. Really?
Yeah?
TAX?
Yeah? There was a game I
I've never
cast...
seen that.
There was a game I cast in... it was some game in EU, I can't remember what it was, and they actually rushed it first item. And I took the mick out of it a lot, and I will never do it ever again. Basically, the way they used it was they were constantly just split pushing lanes all the time, and it was awful for the other team to play against, because the TA is like everywhere around the map. It's crazy, honestly. It's really difficult to ever catch her unless you're like pre-set up and ready.
I'm so excited to see this. Stampede gets used. They've got the telekinesis out onto JT. The glimpse is out on Ori. The damage is there, and the silence is coming through. The Inkswell help him escape. Goes into the bulwark and makes it hard for
Radiant's
Vici to get the
top
kill,
tower
and they
is under
won't, in
attack.
fact, get his life.
Yeah, he managed to get the bulwark off before the Ricky Silence Cloud came out, so always facing the same way that he was taking damage from, which is really well played by JT.
There go the retaliate stacks.
If you haven't seen this, guys, in chat before, this TA Ags, do you know what it does, Ben?
It allows you to TP to your traps, right?
Yeah, so you basically just end up being like in all the side, just constantly pushing lanes out all the time. If you do it in the middle of the fight, I think it's much better when you have this BKB already as well. Because if you look at the Dire side, they don't do a huge amount of physical damage to this TA when she pops Refraction and like has the BKB going, right? Like, because they have nothing to control her.
Radiant are
So if she can just go into the middle of the fight with the TA explosion on the trap, then
What's the cooldown and channel time on it?
the channel time's 1 second,
Oof.
which is like nothing, right? If you don't chain lock her, she just disappears straight away.
That's a better boots to travel,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They
right?
kill the courier. Oh,
Dire's courier has been killed.
so Ollie's going to know this rush attempt's going on.
What's the cooldown on moving from trap to trap?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Dire's top
We'll have to
tower
see, because
is under
that
attack.
seems like it's
Radiant's
4,200
bottom
gold
tower is under attack.
for a much better boots to travel.
It also does a lot of damage. It's like 400 or 500 damage when you reach your trap as well. In
The
like an
trap
AoE.
pops.
Yeah, the trap pops, it does like 400, 500 damage, right? So
Oh my! Wow.
he actually didn't
okay.
take the trap damage at 15 though,
Radiant's
which is
middle
surprising to
tower
me.
is under attack.
This'll come in
But
handy.
the evasion talent's so good this game. Up against like the Monkey King especially.
Dire's courier
They stop going for this
has been
Roche, and they're going to commit going towards the side of IG. The Static Storm is down as well. The BKB being popped by Eurus. They go over on the Kaka. They get the kill there onto the Disruptor. They look for more. Emo immediately in the Dissimulate goes onto the cliff. The arena is down from JT, but he will steal his own arena, and we've got ourselves a Venn diagram. Wukong's command comes in. The Chain Frost bouncing around. They get the kill on a Firefly JT as well as Emo. They look over at Ollie once again. And now he's on the run, but there's Blink Strike. There's the kill, and a full team wipe in the favor of Vici.
He actually managed to steal an arena of blood that time. That was really impressive by PYW. Yeah, they're getting out circle stratted at the moment on IG. PYW's found the counter by having the ability to steal his own circles.
I mean, there is still circle strat here for Vici.
Dire's top
I
tower
would
is
say.
under attack.
You've got
yeah.
a lot of
I
circle.
just want to say in that fight though as well, Ricky picked up his BKB just before, and I don't think Kaka realised on this disruptor because like he dropped the static storm on the Ricky and he's like, oh, like he has a BKB. This is completely wasted. Like this disruptor can't be the one that gets gone on first, unfortunately for IG. It's too important. But you know, at this point in the game, they're 10k up now. Vici, both the cores have BKB. This disruptor feels, you know, really not where it needs to be at this point in the game. Especially on POS 4, right? Like, you kind of want it to be further ahead than it is at the moment. And Disruptor's a hero that when you're playing from ahead, it feels really good. Like we saw this smoke gank spot before, but when you're playing from behind, it's a completely different ball game.
Static Storm down on to PYW. He's been really the MVP of a lot of these fights, and it's good to take him out first. Ben on the BKB's been popped by Ori. He goes after JT. The Inkswell pops, and they'll just disengage from this. They get the kill onto the Rubik, and the BKB popped here by the TA. So
Yeah, it's actually-
then leave.
They didn't pick up the Titan Sliver, by the way. Yeah.
There's that eggs. Okay,
Here we go.
Psionic Projection, as I've never seen this. It's a 15-second cooldown with a
Radiant's
1
middle
second
tower
channel
is
time.
under attack. Radiant's
mean-
middle tower has fallen.
That's amazing.
It's really good because they buffed it in 7.25. If you hover over it to go from 2 second to 1 second channel time, but because he hasn't taken the trap damage, that's why I found it really weird. Like you've gone for this Ags build, but you're missing the burst that you get from it.
Why does it say cooldown 30 seconds, but then the cooldown also says 15 seconds?
We're not in the actual release yet, BCOP. This is a beta, okay?
Am I stupid, or or am I just? Is it just there twice in two different ways?
Yeah, it's 15 seconds. I'm like 99% sure.
Of course.
Really trying to trick me here. Spear hits on Ori. Ori's got a double damage. Yeah, it looks like it's 15 seconds on a psionic projection. Oh, Blink Strike, the damage onto the Disruptor. The Spear was thrown, but the Euls was also used onto Eurus. Meanwhile, Soulbind over bottom as the Wukong's command comes out, and they'll get the kill there on Ollie. They'll take out Firefly, killing spree for both TY and Ori. And the Static Storm gets dropped down, but doesn't get IG anything.
Yeah, Yang's not the guy you want to be going on. Yeah, he has Lotus, Hood, Vanguard. Like, this guy's so tanky. He has 2.7k HP. They just found a craggy coat as well, as if that wasn't bad enough before. You might actually... Yeah, he's going to take that on Centaur, and his effective HP now is absolutely through the roof. Like, I don't know how you kill this guy anymore.
Telekinesis Kinetic Field to try and keep JT alive. It'll do its job. Meanwhile, PYW stealing himself the Aether Remnant, which I have seen some Rubiks destroy with this skill.
Yes, with the Arcane Supremacy as well. That extra little burst of stun duration is always nice with the Aether Remnant. Burst of stun duration, I don't think I've ever said that before.
Makes sense. Let's see, I want to see TA TP somewhere. Ooh, however, they've got the Telekinesis out onto this Disruptor, and Kaka in a lot of trouble, but he Yules himself up. They've got the Silence out onto the Mars. They get the kill on Ollie. Now they look over at the Disruptor and get one more shot. They'll have themselves the kill. So 2 years gone to the side of IG. They look over at JT, who's trying to run, but he is surrounded on all sides, in so much trouble, and will end up dead.
Yang tried to go for the Blink Stomp there as well on the Void Spirit, but Emo too quick. Yeah, they're just lacking damage now on this Dire side. They're really struggling. You know, this Fly Monkey King went for Battle Fury after the Echo Saber. They have no physical damage resistance really on their side, right? And this TA is just tearing them apart with the burst damage, and the Riki as well now, especially. Ricky's finally found his way into the game where he's actually, you know, just dealing a huge amount of damage at this point, which is really impressive considering he doesn't have this Battle Fury item to help him scale. He's been all in on just, you know, trying to get involved in these fights and around the 20 to 25 minute mark.
Grabbing themselves an outpost. Meanwhile, Ori, he is trying to get a Bloodthorn. What has he stolen? I do love that the squares just kind of stay in limbo halfway between him and whoever he stole it from if he does blink away and start to run. The travel time on that is hilarious. I really...
If Vici win this series, by the way, they go top of the group. So it means a lot to them that if they do win this series, they can say, like, well, you know, we're top dogs here. You know, we get to skip that round like we talked about earlier. This Monkey King top lane, by the way, I was going to say, he might get baited in by this trap that TA could just jump to straight away.
They have this ward up on the cliff. A Tinker ward.
Yeah, I think the Lich kind of gave that away. If he hadn't been standing where he was, I actually think the Monkey King might have died there.
Is it still a Tinker ward if that hero doesn't get picked anymore?
Yes, it will always be called a Tinker ward, I'm pretty sure. That's been universally accepted. If I'm in a pub and I'm describing to my team where to put a ward, I will say can we put the Tinker ward down, please? Like,
yeah.
Obviously, I say it as nicely as that every single time.
Radiant are scanning.
Wouldn't dare.
I can't imagine a angry Mo. That's for sure.
Oh, I lost an unlosable game last night, so you know, it happens.
Let's see, TA has that Orchid, working on that Bloodthorn, 1100 gold saved up, 900 away from the Hyperstone, so realistically just 1900 gold away from finishing off the Bloodthorn and continuing to farm it up. Riki going Nullifier. This is not an item we see too much, but I believe in the Team Spirit Hellraiser series, it was a pretty important one, especially it was, you know, when you're trying to get out of the smoke screen with a Force Staff and you just get nullified. He doesn't care. Now he's starting to care. Stampede, he's silenced, he'll end up dead, but they're using everything. The Chainful's doing a significant amount of damage as PYW did steal the Wukong's command. They get the kill there on a Firefly, so Yang for Firefly so far, but JT sitting already a little bit low. Spear pushes back PYW. Big A, he gets a spear of his own, And they'll also get the kill there onto JT.
Like,
Telekinesis. Jesus, PYW
Oh, the
doing
spear?
so much. The
Oh my
telekinesis into the
goodness.
spear and the kill on Emo. PYW, man. Take a bow.
They see Yang and they're like, yeah, we'll quickly pick off Yang before the fight starts. And
And they call GG.
he gets
Wow, and
glimmer
Emo
as
just
well.
disconnects real quick.
I mean,
VG Gaming.
He had a really rough series on this voice, but like that mid lane was a masterclass for Mori, as we said. He
Yeah.
played fantastically well. Like he hit so many side blades on that voice Brit. Really hurt his early game, and it kind of forced Emo to just rotate around and try and find kills instead because he just couldn't lane anymore.
That was a very good game there by Ori, and for me, I think PYW's the MVP on that one. That was wow, very impressive game. The amount of ultis he stole, the amount of impact he had. Ends at 5-5 and 13. I know that's only 18 of the 24 kills that they had, but he really impressed me.
I don't know. I thought
overall.
DY played super well. You know, he took part in 20 kills out of his team's 24 on a Lich. That's,
And he only died